Did none of these people play the tutorial?
Well, it seemed like people didn't know that there were more than just, like, aim and shoot.
That's such a Yord thing to say.
That's why I like him. Yord Horde for life. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Star Wars Explained Weekly Q&A. I'm Alex.
I'm Molly.
And we're going to answer some of your Acolyte questions. But first, what's been going on in our lives?
We had a fun barbecue with some of our friends last weekend, which was great.
I was gonna not mention what Hilo did to me, but since he just wandered in and brought a toy and is probably going to be making noise, I'm going to talk about right before the barbecue, we went to the dog park. And Hilo's a big boy. He's 90
like
pounds.
90-ish pounds, yeah.
And he was running around with a dog that was probably 120 at least. Big dog. Big, sweet dog.
Like a Mastiff puppy.
Yeah, like 2 years old, I think, or maybe 18 months, but like big. And, you know, Hilo, if you play tug of war with him, he can pull you over if you're not careful. And these two dogs were running, not looking at where they were going. And I saw the whole thing coming right for me. And I knew what was going to happen. I still tried to get out of the way. And they took my legs straight out under me. They went straight into the air. I landed flat on my back, knocked all the wind out of me. So I'm like gasping for air on the ground, and then I sit up. And the worst part about it is that no one at the dog park saw it. The two other dog owners that were there were deep in conversation, and I looked over at Molly, and she was just tweeting away.
On my phone working.
You were working.
You.
You were making Star Wars Explained tweets, but I just like looked over at you, and you were just deep into your phone, and I was like...
Our last... our Lucasfilm vlog had just gotten posted, so
right.
I was like sharing it.
So you were doing all that, and I like hobbled across the park to you, and you finally heard me wheezing as I got close, and you're like, "What happened?" Like, these dogs tried to kill me.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying more attention.
It's okay. It's just like, it's one of those moments where you feel your age. I mean, like, I've had the wind knocked out of me before, and I bounced back from it pretty quick, and not this time. Like,
no.
I still have aches in my back.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll survive, maybe.
I'll make sure to get it on camera next time.
I know. That honestly, that's all I wanted. I was like, if this is going to happen to me, please put it on TikTok. Like,
yeah.
Let's get some internet points out of this.
Put some, like, cartoon music behind it.
I'm sure it looked very comical. Like, that day, the big Twitter trend was like, people in your 30s, post a picture of yourself. And I was like, I would do that if I had a picture of me like flying through the air with these two dogs running underneath me. Anyway, then we went to the barbecue.
Then we had a nice, fun day hanging out with our friends. There was lots of barbecue. There was a crawfish boil too. Tons and tons of food.
Always fun to hang out with friends.
Yeah.
And one of them put on, the Valley of Guanji. And our friend was like, you gotta see this. And this is a friend who... He loves Jurassic Park and Alien, but that's about as fanciful as he goes into movies. Like, he likes really serious stuff. He's not really into fantasy that much. And so he put this thing on, and I was like, Matt, what is this?
A very serious movie.
Yeah, like it's about like cowboys fighting dinosaurs, which is rad.
It's
like,
not...
I have nothing against it, but it's the last movie I would have expected him to put on.
It's not serious at all, though.
Yeah. No, not serious. But it's just like, this is what Matt wants to watch? Matt from Slam Sector, friend at another YouTube channel.
So yeah, that was also June 1st. And so I was very excited to celebrate Pride Month.
You took advantage of that immediately.
Yeah, we played beer pong. And every time I was forced to drink, I was like, during Pride Month?
How could you do this to me?
Come on.
I was just happy to drink some beer, I guess.
So that was funny.
Skipping ahead to Monday, you went to the Acolyte screening that they held in Atlanta.
Yeah, that was fun.
I was exhausted. Like, just the past couple of weeks have been a lot of traveling, hanging out with friends, like a lot of hanging out with friends, which is great, but I was just like socially drained. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm gonna stay at home and do nothing.
It was just nice to do something like that in our own city. You know, I was really glad that they did these fan screenings in all different states and granted, this was the only one in Georgia, but like there were quite a few people there that I recognized and like that recognized me, and we chatted and took pictures. It was really, really fun.
And in my stead, you got to take one of our friends who is like a little more of a casual Star Wars fan.
Mhm.
So, and he's in my D&D group, so I got to talk to him about it. But it was fun to get his impression of the Acolyte as someone who's a little more on the outside.
Yeah, and I enjoyed just treating him to a fun night out. We had the best seats in the house. We got free popcorn and a free drink. He was living it up.
You're having a great time. Honestly, I was a little bit sad that I had given up my ticket. When you were like getting ready to go, I was like, oh, I should have gone. But I'm glad our friend got to see it instead. You know, I had seen it already, so we'll let someone else go.
And it was a great screening. Like, no one was talking, no one was on their phones. You know, everyone was really polite and quiet. And then afterwards, people were cheering and like sounded like everybody really enjoyed themselves and liked it. So that was good.
I stayed home and played Mario Kart.
Yay.
But I kind of needed that little recharge.
Sure.
Just me and Luigi hanging out.
Oh.
And then, of course, Tuesday, The Acolyte finally premiered on Disney Plus, and I wanted to talk about that just from like the fan perspective, because it was a lot of fun seeing people reacting to it finally.
Yeah.
And having it out into the world. I actually went out and played D&D. That's Tuesday is usually our D&D night, so I went out, was playing with our friends, and then I came home to edit the review, and I stayed up way too late, way later than I needed to, because I was having a good time for once on Twitter. Like, yeah, insane. Usually you open it up and like, I don't know, I scroll until I'm mad and I close it. But,
sure.
But like, I was just straight up joy scrolling on Twitter because everyone was having fun with Star Wars and making up new hashtags, hashtag Yordhorde.
Yeah.
I think Tommy Stella started that. So it's a good one, which he's also big for Nubs Nation.
Yeah. Hashtag Nubs Nation. I think there was Jackie's Besties was another one.
I like Jackie Council because it's close to. I saw that one floating around. I feel like people are trying to figure out what the new fandom hashtags are.
Yeah.
But Yordhorde was an instant winner.
Sure. Because I had seen the episode so many times at that point, I was just gonna like hang out at home and watch my true crime documentaries, which I did start doing that. But like you said, I was having so much fun online. I just put the episodes on and then I was just like scrolling on my phone the whole time, like chatting with people and reading other people's reactions, and it was really fun.
There are certain times where Star Wars Twitter just is a lot of fun, and that was one of those nights, and it feels rare, and that's just the state of social media in general, but it was a fun night, and I stayed up way too late just being on Twitter when I was like, I know I have an edit to make, but I can do it. I'll wait. And I think I stayed up till 3 a.m.
Oh man.
Oops. But let's move into some of the questions that we got after the Acolyte, and I liked this one to start. Tyler Chartier asks, "What is an Acolyte?" And didn't you see Tyler at the fan screening?
Tyler and his wife were there.
Yeah, so that's fun. But I liked this question. What is an Acolyte? Would Asajj Ventress or Savage Opress or Galen Merrick be considered acolytes? And I think that Leslie Headland kind of answered this in her talk with Dave Filoni. They put that out on YouTube a little bit before the series came out. It's probably like a week ago, but it was like director on director. And she does reference Asajj Ventress as like an acolyte figure, where basically you have the Sith Master, the Sith Apprentice, and then the person the apprentice is hoping to recruit. So Asajj would be like Dooku's acolyte, and then Savage came in as Dooku's next apprentice.
Right.
Galen Merrick was Darth Vader's secret apprentice in The Force Unleashed. So I think by that definition, we could consider them all to be at least similar to the acolyte.
So it's like an apprentice in training.
Right.
But
I think it's
Is it so it's got to be a secret to whoever the Sith Master is, right? Or
not necessarily, because like Palpatine knew about Ventress and eventually calls into Dooku and is like, she's getting too strong, kill her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is the idea, that the apprentice is trying to find someone else that'll team up with them to take down the Master. And I think it's good. It's like not quite a Sith. They're not elevated to that point yet. Probably wouldn't happen until the Master is dead. And then you're like, okay, you're officially my apprentice now.
Mm-hmm.
And then that apprentice would go searching for an acolyte.
When you said not quite a Sith, all I thought of was that maybe May would break out into song and we'd get a musical episode.
That felt like a musical number.
Yeah.
It sounds like a song, the improv game.
Not quite a Sith.
So yeah, this reminds me a lot of the Darth Bane trilogy of books, especially the last one, because that focuses on Darth Bane's decline. He's getting older. Darth Xana is like, all right, I think I can take him, but I might need help. So she starts to look for potential recruits. And I think that, yeah, May could be a potential recruit. And I wonder if it's like she could be one of many. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
If it's like the Sith have feelers out for any potential newbies.
Yeah.
And they're keeping them at arm's length. Like Sol said, May doesn't know who her master is. So right now it's like, you haven't earned the right to know my identity.
Mm-hmm.
But if you pass my tests, you get to know.
I do really dig the idea that whoever this mysterious Sith character is that we saw at the end of episode 1, that they're the apprentice. And then there is another Sith master that we haven't even seen yet, and we may not see until like the very end of the season.
Yeah, that could be like the Marvel end credits tag or whatever.
I don't know if it would be an end credits thing. Like, I would want it to be in the show. But I think that's a cool idea, and it just adds even more excitement, because then we would get 2 Sith characters.
Yeah. So I think that would be cool too. Also, we are assuming that is a Sith at the end of the first episode. I think Leslie Headland has made it pretty clear, like, this is about the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the second they showed us the red lightsaber and Darth Teeth or whatever, that helmet, I'm like, okay, this is a Sith character. But there's always a chance it's not. But, you know, we've been banging on that Sith drum for a few weeks now.
We've seen characters in Ahsoka that have red or reddish lightsabers, and they're not quite Sith. So I'm hoping that this is just kind of like flat out, this is a Sith.
Yeah.
Or a Sith in training.
I think it is.
Sith Junior. Lil Sith.
Lil Sith. That's their name. It's not Darth. It's Lil Darth.
Lil Darth.
Darth Lil. John Hall asks if there are other characters from the Acolytes so far that we would like to see get a comic adaptation like Kelnaka is going to get.
I mean, any more Yord, I think will please everyone.
I thought you would go straight for Endara. That's who I was going to throw out.
Yeah, and Endara would be cool. I don't know, because we've just met a lot of these characters.
For some reason, I leaned towards Endara, Torben, the characters that have already passed on. And so, yeah, like the people that when Endara died, I wasn't surprised about it, but I'm also like, I would like more with that character. I know that she'll be in flashbacks and stuff, but with Yord and everyone that's still alive, I'm like, by the end of the series, I might have everything that I feel like I need. Mm-hmm. But right now with Endara, I'm like, I could use some more.
You know what would be cool if we got like a Tales from the is it Uski Noodles shop? What's the
it's
name
something
of it?
like that. Uski Lampa. I'd have to look it up in the episode guide.
Tales from the Noodle Shop.
Tales from the Noodle Shop, sure.
And I'm not saying that this should be like a collection of animated shorts like the Tales of whatever, but
the old books, Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah, if we got a short comic series that has an Endara story, that has like a couple of different stories of like random people who have visited the noodle shop, that might be fun.
Sure, I like that.
And we could get one for the bartender with the cute little guy.
Their little puppet child.
Yeah, he was so cute. cute.
It was very cute. I really like that the Kelnaka story is going to take place in the High Republic era. There is that about Kelnaka and Wookiees in general, that they're long-lived. So he's been around for a while, so we're going to get to see... I think they've even said it's going to tell the origins of his tattoos that he has on his head, like why he has those markings.
He has tattoos on his head?
Yeah. So like in the trailers, if you look up close, he's got... You know how his head is shaved?
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see some patterns in his head.
I had never noticed that.
Zoom in super close on the video. Just blow that picture up.
Cool. I didn't know that, but yeah, that's cool.
Today's video is brought to you by Arena Club. As you all probably know, I have a pretty large Biggs Darklighter collection. I've got just about everything out there with Biggs' face or name on it, so when I go out to conventions, the main thing I have left to search for is trading cards. I've got a lot of them, but there are still more to find. Arena Club is a trading card marketplace where collectors can grade, collect, buy, sell, or trade their cards. They've got a ton of Star Wars cards to choose from, as well as Star Trek, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Marvel, DC, you name your fandom, and it's on there. And of course, you can get baseball, basketball, football, or other sports cards too, if that's your thing. You know the first thing I did was hop on to search for a new Biggs Darklighter card, and right away, I found one I didn't have. The grade was listed at the top, and it quickly became mine. You can find tons of minor characters for you or maybe your friends. There are signed cards, concept art cards, all kinds of cards for whatever you might collect. Right now, you can get 10% off your first purchase by going to arenaclub.com/Star Wars. That's 10% off anything in the marketplace or on Arena Club's slab packs. That's arenaclub.com/Star Wars for 10% off your first purchase. Kyle Franklin asks if we're going to see the full Jedi Council in the Acolyte, which I think is partly a way of asking, where's Yoda at?
Where is Yoda?
I am going to address that Leslie has said in interviews that Yoda is not in the series. I think she's trying to get out ahead of things and just be like, this is like more of a, it's about these specific Jedi. Mm-hmm. I'm still skeptical. Like, I think that we might get a shout out or something, but if that is the case, I do take her at her word, then I guess we're not going to see the full council.
Yeah. I'm okay with Yoda not being in this, and I appreciate the fact that if she is trying to get that information out, that it would be like, don't get your hopes up.
Right.
Waiting for Yoda to come in for each episode, because like this story has nothing to do with him so far. I mean, Vernestra has said we're working with a small council on this matter, so like she would have said the council if she were like, I'm gonna go tell the higher ups about all this.
Right. I mean, Vernestra seems from the first episode like she's trying to keep this whole situation under wraps.
Like she maybe doesn't want to involve them.
Maybe we don't need to bother the council with this right now.
Maybe they would just blow everything out of proportion and we don't need that.
Right. So like Yoda is a cameo. An inclusion for a character that I think would make perfect sense for this story and era. I wouldn't mind it if he popped up at all, but I agree, I don't need it. I'm glad that they are focusing on introducing new characters and stuff, and I could see that if this goes on for a second or third season and the situation continues to grow, then it could kind of follow The Mandalorian, for example, the way that it was very much about Din and Grogu and like this new set of characters in season 1, and then in season 2 we got Cobb Vanth, Bo-Katan, Luke Skywalker. Like it just kept spiraling out. Mm-hmm. So I could see something like that happening in future seasons. Okay, now the council needs to be involved. It's like a little ridiculous that they that their red lightsabers running around and Yoda's like, bah.
Yoda knows about the Sith at the time of episode 1. So that would be a perfect way to involve him, maybe in a second season, involve Yoda and show Yoda, like investigating some stuff a little bit.
It's a good chance to show how do the Jedi know about the rule of 2.
Yeah.
Which they might do that in this season, but yeah, that there could be some knowledge of the Sith that not everyone thinks they've been extinct for forever. People have already pointed out, Ki-Adi-Mundi says, but the Sith have been extinct for a millennium. And then Yoda kind of gives a look to Mace. But then Mace says, I don't think the Sith could have returned without us knowing. So I still believe that Ki-Adi-Mundi and Mace don't know anything about what's happened in the Acolyte, but Yoda might just be looking around like,
Right.
Spider-Man of Earth 1218 asks if any prequel Jedi could be part of Soul's lineage.
His lineage?
Yeah, like a Padawan of a Padawan of a Padawan, so on.
Right.
So that, like, he was the master to Jeki, and Jeki was the master to Plo Koon or something. I'm just throwing out a name. But
I mean, no one super comes to mind.
people have compared Soul to Qui-Gon Jinn quite a bit, which I like that comparison, but we know Qui-Gon's lineage. But I'm going to go full speculation here and jump way ahead. But I do not think that Soul might not have a lineage.
Ooh.
Just the way that they've set him up as a big, grand, great Jedi, but we know there's something dark in his past that Torben is willing to drink poison over.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever that is, I wonder if that will kind of end his Jedi career.
So would that mean that Jeki would have to go train with another Jedi, or would Jeki be like the end of his lineage?
I think she would go to another Jedi if she were to stay with the Jedi, but what if she finds out, like, oh, this is so bad? Like, it could involve her leaving the Order. Maybe she and Dosha become besties, and they're like, let's both get out of here. I'm jumping ahead to Doom here, but the way that Soul has been established as, like, a pretty great Jedi so far, I wonder if they're going to tear him down, if the Sith are going to bring to light whatever happened in the past.
I mean,
we still don't know. Maybe it's not that bad.
He is on the chopping block. He's on the list.
Yeah.
And so far,
we're 2 down already.
2 down. We're heading towards Kelnaka, and it's not looking good. But I don't want to see him just killed so easily as the first 2 were.
I don't think necessarily he will die. He might. I don't know. But
you're thinking instead of him being killed, he will just be destroyed, like his reputation and
I'm thinking mentally about this a lot because I just wrote and recorded a video on, like, what does it mean to kill a Jedi without a weapon? And May's taking that very literally, like, attack me, Jedi, and then until she's like, I better use my knives. But I think that is meant to be, like, more out of the box thinking. What does it mean to destroy a Jedi? And it's more like going after the dream that the Jedi have. An Acolyte can kill the dream.
What they represent.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that they're going to kind of bring to light, hey, these Jedi did something bad.
Yeah, he's hiding something huge. And if that gets out, yeah, his reputation will be pretty much done for.
And that's like the whole mystery is, yeah, what did those 4 Jedi do? And that's what I'm really looking forward to the series exploring more. And that's like what they need to really nail down, stick the landing on. For our last question, we're going to get away from the Acolyte because Brock Kloster asks if we've played Hunters at all and what we think of it.
I have not, but I watched you play a little bit of it.
I actually did play a bit of it, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. It isn't super my type of game. I did like Overwatch a lot when it came out a while ago. I didn't play Overwatch 2, but had a lot of fun playing that with my friends, so it's along those same lines. Granted, it was pairing me up with, like, a bunch of low-ranked people, so it was making me feel real good. I was not expecting to be good at it, but I was like, I'm kind of dominating. But then last night I played it a little more, and I was like, I'm not dominating anymore.
When I watched you play, he was like, did none of these people play the tutorial?
It seemed like people didn't know that there were more than just, like, aim and shoot.
That's such a Yord thing to say.
That's why I like him. Yord Horde for life. But yeah, I played through that's also a Yord thing to do. Did we not play the tutorial and learn the rules, people?
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to build up my ultimate attack faster, and so I was just doing real well. Anyway, now that I have gotten past, like, the intro plays, it's putting me in games with people who are better,
Right.
and I'm no longer dominating. But it's still a good time.
Same thing happened in Squadrons.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Like, once people got into Squadrons and learned how to, like, I was real good at that game for a week or two.
Yeah, that felt great.
Uh-huh. That was super fun. I'm real glad we got to play an Operation Ace right before everyone else learned how to destroy us. Anyway, Hunters is fun. I'm enjoying it. I don't know that I'm going to play it a ton. I think I'll probably try to gather some friends. Maybe we'll stream it together.
Yeah. I'll give it a shot. You know, I'm more of an Animal Crossing girly.
Mm-hmm.
I know you said it was similar to Overwatch. I think I tried to play Overwatch once or twice, and I was like, there's too much going on.
It is a shooter, and I don't really like playing shooters on console, so I will be happier when it comes out on PC.
Yeah.
But for the Switch, and it's free to play, so that's all fun.
I'm curious what the mobile version is like, because it's on mobile and then Nintendo Switch.
Uh-huh. So. It is coming to more systems and PC, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah, I'm curious how it plays on mobile.
It does look really good.
Yeah, it's like a fun art style.
It should, because how long has it been
yeah, it finally came out. It's been delayed for at least 2 years, maybe closer to 3.
But it looks really good. The characters are really interesting.
The characters are super fun, and I have read over a year ago, the tie-in book came out about like Battle for the Arena, and it goes into the story of these characters, and it's basically like professional wrestling. Like, they're gladiators, but you know, it's all for show in a sense. They are competing, but they're not actually killing each other. Reva's not actually a Sith, and it's just fun the way they got into all these over-the-top characters and the reasons for them. And I was like, okay, I can buy this. Like, It is all for entertainment's sake, and it's not strictly, like, real in the Wikipedia sense. The game is cool. The free-to-play stuff, you know, all the ads to be like, you can buy all these cosmetics and stuff. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to play.
Yeah, we're not going to pour a bunch of money into this game. You also said that it's easy to kind of just pick up and play. Yeah,
the rounds are nice and short. So yeah, I just like popped on, played around real quick last night while you were finishing up a true crime doc or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy it. I don't know if I'm going to sink a ton of hours into it, but it was more fun than I was expecting it to be. But that's all the time we have for questions today. If you want to leave a question for next week's video, just put it in the comments below or sign up for Patreon to join our weekly Q&A discussion. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky.
And as always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.